Hey, what is up, fellow raiders? This is Vulcan Dan, and in today's Raid Shadow Legends video, we are going to talk about RORIC WYRMBANE Fragments event that is live right now. As you can see here, RORIC WYRMBANE looking much like the Game of Thrones character that is most likely inspired by. Right, looking cool, and he is very useful for those early to mid-game players, especially if you're free to play. I think he will be an excellent champion in many areas of the game. If you're an end-game player, not so much, but I still think you should go for this this fragment event, because anytime you can get a legendary, you should always go for it, in my opinion. All right, so right now we do have the Dungeon Divers event that is happening right now, and we also have the artifact enhancement happening tomorrow. And also for the tournaments, we have the spider tournament that is live, and a surprise ice golem tournament later, or not, tomorrow, that is high elves only. This is not related to the RORIC WYRMBANE fragment event, so do not be distracted by this if you are more of on the side of trying to save your energy, your gems. Yeah, so if you're more of a free-to-play player, you don't have a lot of gems to burn, you might want to skip this, but we'll have to see. Maybe if you have a few gems saved up, you might want to join, because sometimes these events, not a lot of people partake in it, so it might be a good chance to get those higher tier rewards. Sometimes you might get a few ancient shards, void shards, maybe even some epic books. But yeah, we will see what the rewards are for this tomorrow. But yeah, it is not part of the RORIC WYRMBANE Fragments event. So yeah, I have this planner right here. I will post a link to this image down in the comment section down below in a pinned comment. Yeah, so if you want access to this spreadsheet right here, yeah, so this is my guide that might be helpful for you, especially if you're more of a new player or a free-to-play player in Raid, that you're looking to maximize your resources, your energy, to make sure that you make the most out of it during this event. And also, I will share with you some things that I have noticed in this in this particular fragment event that might be useful for you down the line. I also included some other events that will coincide with the RORIC WYRMBANE fragment event. We have a clan versus clan happening tomorrow, a ×10 happening this weekend, and a 2x void happening the next weekend after that. All right, so first things first is you need to save void shards for September 17, because we do have a ×2 void then, and of course that will coincide with the champion chase tournament. So yes, save your void shards for then. You will need those. And another tip is, if you have certain fragments that are just sitting around, like currently I have Rian the Conjurer that I got from Doom Tower Secret Rooms. He is sitting at a 100/100 fragment, so I can summon him at any time I want, but I am saving him because I want to make sure that it coincides with one of these tournaments right here, especially the Champion Chase tournament. Summon Rush, these only count these would only count the champions that you summon from shards. So ancient shards, mystery shards, void, and sacred. For these fragments, like the one from Rian the Conjurer, they do not count against Summon Rush, but they would count against Champion Chase. So if you do not have a lot of void shards and you're thinking you might miss out on some points in the Champion Chase tournament, then save up those fragment summons that you have in case you have any. All right, so that's just one tip there. Also, for the Summon Rush, because normally during this time, which is a 10x shard event, we do not want to pull our ancients, our voids, our sacred shards, because we want to maximize the 2x event where you get double chance to get those epics and legendaries. So what I like to do during these summon rushes is that I save up a lot of mystery shards. So I have over 2,000 mystery shards, and I use these whenever we have these summon rush during a ×10 event, during a fragment event. Yeah, so sometimes I can pull maybe 10 ancient shards, but the majority of my points here will come from mystery shards, because I do really want to be very efficient, and I do not pay money in this game, and of course I don't pay money to buy shards, so I need to be careful. I need to be very efficient with the shards that I pull in this game. So my ancients, I do have a lot, 76, but I really want to save these during those times 2 events, or when I really need to pull those ancient shards. So mystery shards, save those up for these kind of events. All right, and also for this fragment event, they actually did something that I don't think, or at least I don't remember if they'd done this before. Take a look at this one. We have a dragon tournament from 11 to 14, and then in the middle of that dragon tournament, we have a Fire Knight tournament. So it overlaps. It happens in the middle of dragon, which is why here you can see that my recommended energy use is both dragon and Fire Knight. Normally, you would want 3 days worth of energy if you're a free-to-play player and you're just simply using the energy that you are given for that day, plus of course the free energy refills from your quest. You will need 3 days worth of energy to get the top reward in that tournament. Now, if you're only going for the fragment, which is you're given 5 fragments for that dungeon tournament, you can only do 2 days worth of energy. But of course, I still recommend you try to get that top reward. So three days. So this will overlap with Fire Knight, plus it will also overlap with an Ice Golem tournament and a champion training tournament right here. So Dragon, Fire Knight, and Ice Golem, they overlap over each other, plus a champion training event in the middle of all of those. So I don't think Plarium has ever done this. This would make it more difficult for free-to-play players. So during this time, I still recommend that you go for that you use your energy for the dungeon. So Dragon, Fire Knight, Ice Golem. But if you have any spare gems, use that to farm campaign as well, so that you can get points in the champion training. Because if you just use your free energy for that day, you will not get a single point from champion training, because all of those will be spent on Dragon, Fire Knight, and Ice Golem. So champion training, during this time from 14 to 19, you might need to use gems and or brews. So if you have brews here, what are brews? Of course, here we are. Oh yeah, there you go, brews. So we have magic brews, spirit brews, force, and void. And of course, if you use the same affinity brew for the correct type of champion, then you get more bang for your buck. So yeah, make sure you save up your brews for this particular event from 14 to 19, because most likely you will need to use that unless you're going to spend an enormous amount of gems to refill your energy and keep on farming Dragon, Fire Knight, and Ice Golem, plus the campaign as well. So that is why I put this here. I don't think they've ever done this before. This would make it a little more difficult for free-to-play players. So be careful during this time. All right. Now we of course have the regular artifact enhancement events. We usually have 2, so these are well spaced out. You would need around 20 million silver if you want to get the final reward in each of these artifact enhancement events. If you just want the fragments, then maybe 10 million would suffice. But I still recommend if you have 20 million, and so this would be a total of 40 million for the 2 events to get that top reward. All right, and one more thing to note is that we have a Dungeon Divers event for every single day of this fragment event except for September 11. So we have a Dungeon Divers right here from 6 to 10, and then the next one starts at 12, ends at 15, and then the next one starts at 16, ends at 21. So the only day we don't have a Dungeon Divers is September 11, which is good, okay? And during that day, you would want to farm the campaign, because we do have the champion training tournament on September 11, although we also have the dragon tournament. Why do I recommend that you farm campaign instead of the dragon on September 11? That is because you get more points in Dungeon Divers, which starts on the next day on the 12th. If you farm the dungeon instead, you will get more points per energy if you do dragon on the 12th in your Dungeon Divers event. So save your or use your energy on September 11th to farm campaign instead to get points in the champion training. Make sure you get as many of the fragments here as possible. So yeah, so keep that in mind. For this row right here, the first row is the most or the first priority for energy use on that day, and the second row is where your extra energy should go if you have any. So for these, you of course the first few days you don't have any problem, just farm spider and then you'll farm campaign for a while and then farm dragon. But this is where it gets more difficult, where you have to see, okay, should I spend more gems, should I spend more brews, so but we do have a assuming you get all of the fragments here, you will get a total of 120. If you finish in the top places, it's usually top 1 or top 2, first or second place in the tournaments, then you get an extra 5 fragments. But assuming you don't, then you just get a total of 120 fragments if you do every single thing here. Most of the time, and especially where I tend to miss fragments on my own account, is the summon rush, because again, I don't want to pull that many shards. So during this summon rush, maybe I get 5, maybe I get 10, but even if I don't get a single one during summon rush, I can be certain that I will, even if I lose out on that 20 fragments right there, I still have a total of 100. Maybe I get lucky and finish high in some of these tournaments and I get that extra 5 fragments here and there. So yeah, so if you're really trying to save your shards, then it's okay to miss this summon rush and get 0 shards, 0 fragments from that. So just bear that in mind. You do get a total of 120 fragments from these events. All right, so that is it for this guide. I hope you find this useful. I will of course put this in a pinned comment down in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you have fun. I think RORIC Wyrmbane is an excellent legendary to have. And if you have any questions about this tournament, even during the next few days when you're having difficulty in some of the areas, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I will try to help you out. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have fun and I'll see you guys in my next video.